Frank and I went back to homicide to turn the case over to them. They asked us to handle the investigation for another day because they were short of men at the moment and because there was still a big doubt as to whether or not Eddie Stokes had really been murdered. Actually, the only solid lead we had was the second-hand testimony of a drunken witness, that and the deputy coroner's doubts that Stokes was actually the victim of a hit and run. We brought Marion Fuller back in and re-questioned her. She stuck to her story. She didn't remember anything. She was released again. It looked like we were in for a long night.
I just talked to that butcher's wife, Mrs. Murray.
Yeah, what'd she have to say?
Asked her the same questions we asked Murray. She couldn't add much. Same story.
Well, I don't know. It's got me. We don't know it's murder. We don't know it's a hit and run. I'm about ready for my vacation.
I'll put in with you.
That Fuller woman has got to know a lot more than she's telling us.
Well, she's got a perfect out. She was drunk. The bartender swears to it.
Well, that story's phony. It's got more holes than a piece of cheese. Whose car did she pass out in? Who drove her home? Who called her this morning to tell her that her boyfriend was dead?
Hit and run felony, Smith. Oh, yeah, Rogers. Yeah? You did, huh? What's his name? I see. Yeah, we'll check it out right away. Rogers, he and McClendon are still out at the bar. Finally got somebody to talk a little.
Yeah, what'd they get?
The bar boy out there. Says there was a fight. Happened about 1:30. Doesn't remember who was fighting, though.
That's not much help, is it?
The bar boy's name is Milner. He told Rogers he went outside about 20 minutes to 2 to put out the garbage. He saw the Fuller woman asleep in a car parked outside.
Did he know the car? Did he get the license number?
No, but he spotted something on the windshield.
Yeah.
A traffic ticket.
Frank and I checked with the sergeant of the watch at 77th Street Division. He told us Unit 12A5 was assigned to the area where the Brown Barrel was located. In checking their worksheet, we found that Unit 12A5 had issued a hang-on citation the night before to a car parked near 6330 and a half Vermont Avenue, the address of the Brown Barrel Tavern. We checked the license number through RDMV, and we found the car was registered to a William R. Huddy, 14 Naylor Street. We drove to the Naylor Street address and talked to Huddy's wife. She told us we could find him in a bar on South Olive Street. 8:55 p.m., we checked in at the bar. The bartender told us that the lone man at the shuffleboard table was William Huddy. Your name William Huddy?
Yeah, that's right.
Police officers want to talk to you for a minute.
Oh, what about?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What's the matter?
Nothing, we just want to talk to you.
Yeah, all right.
Were you at the Brown Barrel Tavern out in Vermont last night, Huddy?
Yeah, I was. Why? What's the matter?
Do you know her, Marion Fuller?
Yeah, she hangs around the place. Goes with a guy named Eddie.
Did you drive her home last night?
Yeah, matter of fact, I did. She passed out in my car. Nice kid, but she drinks a lot. I drove her home.
You mind telling us what happened at that bar last night while you were there?
Well, it was a pretty funny setup there. I came in about 9 o'clock, started playing shuffleboard with a couple of guys. This Eddie Stokes was one of them.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie's not much of a player. He drinks too much, too. Hothead. Got in a beef with the guy at the bar over Marion. Nothing big, though. The guy left after a while.
All right, go ahead.
Well, that's about all. I left the place around 1:30. Eddie was beefing with some merchant seaman about that time. Real hot beef. Eddie was choosing him. He was giving the guy a bad time.
Was the Fuller girl still in the bar at that time?
No, but when I went outside, I saw her sleeping in my car. I drove her home, left her off, and then came back to the bar. That's when they told me.
Told you what?
They said Eddie had a fight with this merchant seaman. They said it'd be better if we kept it quiet.
Who told you that?
Carl, the bartender. But I got the real story from one of the fellows I was playing shuffleboard with, Leo McCarty.
What'd he tell you?
Oh, he said when Eddie Stokes left, the merchant seaman followed him out, said he chased Eddie. McCarty went out about 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
The merchant seaman was gone. Stokes was lying in the gutter down the street.
Did McCarty look at him?
Yeah, I said Stokes looked pretty bad. Said he looked like he was dead. But I wouldn't believe that if I were you.
Why not?
McCarty always exaggerates.
10:15 p.m. We had William Huddy come back to the office with us where we questioned him further and took his statement. Then we had his friend, Leo McCarty, brought in, along with the bartender at the Brown Barrel Tavern and the customers that he'd framed his story with. McCarty was the first to give us the straight story, then the others followed. The bartender, Carl Jansen, who also owned the bar, was the last to break.
How about it?
What do you mean?
Now, look, Jansen, you could have given us a straight story the first time.
Well, what about the publicity? Now, how would that look, a murder in my place?
Yeah, well, it could work out worse than that, Jansen. You've been withholding evidence. You talked these people into the same deal.
I had to protect myself. It would have ruined my bar, the newspapers, all the talk, the scandal. It could wreck my business. I had to keep it quiet. Look, it's not my fault Stokes was killed. I didn't do it. I'm not to blame.
No, but you know who is to blame. Now, how about it? Who is he?
He works on the ships. He comes in here most of the time when he's in port.
What's his name?
Henry Baxter. I cash some of his paychecks.
Just a minute. Hit and run felony detail Friday. Who? Yeah, he's here. Yeah, just a minute. It's for you, Jansen.
Yeah. Yeah, Frida. Oh, just a minute. Sergeant?
Yeah.
It's my wife. She's at the bar now. She thought you ought to know.
What's that?
Henry Baxter. Frida says he just came in.
I talked to Jansen's wife and told her to delay Baxter as long as possible without arousing his suspicions. 11:25 p.m. Frank and I and Mr. Jansen, along with Rogers and McClendon, drove out to the Brown Barrel Tavern on Vermont. Mrs. Jansen was waiting for us. She told us that Baxter was pretty drunk by that time. She'd been keeping an eye on him, and she said that she knew he was still inside the place. Rogers and McClendon went around to cover the back entrance. We asked Mrs. Jansen to go back in the bar and give no indication that anything was wrong. She told us approximately where Baxter was sitting. We waited a couple of minutes until we were sure Rogers and McClendon were in position at the back of the bar. Then we went in. Where is he?
That's him over there.
Fellow in the gray suit?
Yes, sir. Closest table.
Waiter, give me another Coke High, will you? I asked you twice.
That's him.
Stay here.
You the waiter, give me another Coke High.
Your name Henry Baxter?
What do you want to know for?
Police officer. Stand up. Come on, get up. Put your hands on the table. Flat.
I want to do it with a cigarette.
Put it down. Come on, flat. Jansen,
Yes, sir.
if you go around back and tell those other two officers to meet us out front.
Yes, sir.
Hands are back in there.
Come on, get the other one back here.
All right. What's this all about, anyway? What's the beef?
You know what the beef is.
Yeah. Lousy punk Eddie Stokes, wasn't it? It was him. I showed him how it was done.
Yeah. How'd you kill him, Baxter?
It was easy. I slugged him, pounded his head on the curb. He was drunk. Never know what happened.
All right, let's go.
Trying to give me a bad time. Now he knows. He knows what a bad time really is. I showed him.
All right, come on, Baxter, outside.
Come on, you can walk better than that.
You lousy punk Eddie Stokes. I showed him how it was done, didn't I? I showed him.
Yeah, you showed him. Come on. Thanks, Jansen.
Yes, sir.
You fellas want to take him downtown? Well,
Hey, Joe.
yeah.
How's the tooth?
The what?
The tooth, the wisdom tooth.
It's a funny thing. Doesn't hurt anymore. Pain's gone.
You gotta see that dentist.
I don't see why. Doesn't hurt anymore. I don't know. I'll look into it next week, huh?
Got a piece of news for you. Got an appointment for you tonight.
I got a little something for you. You don't know what time it is. You know it's almost midnight. No dentist in the world will work on you at this hour of the night.
Mine will.
On July 30th, trial was held in Department 92, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.